Miss Dina Malice from North American Title is our speaker, our sponsor speaker this morning. So take it away, Miss Dina.
Morning, everyone. So I was talking to a few of you when you were getting checked in or getting settled here this morning. Has everyone been in real estate less than a year? Everyone? Anyone that's been in real estate more than a year? Okay, 2 of you. So does everyone know what a title company does? Okay, so a title company is an insurance company, and they're ensuring the validity of a transaction. So they're ensuring that the person selling the property actually has the right to sell it. Super important, especially if you're the buyer. And then they're ensuring that it's free of liens and judgments and all those things you don't want attached to your property when you buy it. So in addition to that, the title company handles all of the money in the transaction. So they're a neutral party, and they carry out the transaction however you've written it in the contract. So they don't necessarily care if you have $10,000 of earnest money or $0 of earnest money. They're just going to make sure we have whatever you agreed upon in the contract and just carry it out however it's written. So my office is actually located right at 610 and Post Oak. You know where Uptown Park
The second
is?
one over here.
You know where Crave Cupcakes is? We're right across 610 from Uptown Park. So pretty easy to find. It's about a 7-minute drive from here. And I'm one of your preferred partners in this office. I've been a preferred partner for about 4 years, I guess now. And great group, great office. Honestly, best office in all of Houston that I've been in. So kudos to you for joining Keller. So some things about North American that kind of make us stand out. First of all, North American Title is best practices certified. So best practices, all the rules and regulations, policies, procedures, guidelines that are set forth by the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They're kind of the governing body. They're the ones that issue fines if you're not in compliance. So they put together what they call best practices, and title companies have to comply to that. So you want to make sure that your title company is best practices certified. It's very important to your clients. So this piece that I'm going to leave up here, be a crime fighting hero. This is all of the kind of cyber things that we do to help safeguard your clients' information and their money. There's a lot of wire fraud that goes on in the industry. You want to make sure your clients are aware. They're not sending money to they get a strange email and they wire money to an account that someone's, put the information in. That happens. Wires are one way. Once it's gone, it's gone. So you don't want your client to lose their money. So be very careful. So you can take this piece with you. I have other pieces of material. If you want some additional information, I'll leave my cards up here. And then I also brought the agent guides. This is a guide for you, and especially if you're new. Even if you're not new, I think it's great information. Explains all about the closing and title process. So if your client calls you and says, hey, what is that survey coverage on the contract? You can flip to the page that describes what it's all about. And you can read it real quick. This is great, especially when you're new. So you can sound like you knew what that was all the time. Just read it. That covers this. So in addition to the agent guide, I have buyer's guides and seller's guides. And I can send these to you digitally, which most people prefer to have it, so they can just email it to their client. So the buyer's guide tells the buyer all about the closing process, what to expect, explains a lot of the information. It probably takes a little of the pressure off of you, so you don't have to explain that to them. They'll look through it. Most people feel like they don't want to ask questions because they think they should know what's going on, but they might not. So this helps them, something to look through. So I'm going to leave this information here, and if anyone wants buyer's guide, agent guide, or seller's guide, email to them, let me know, or any more of the fraud information. So does anyone have any questions? All right, great. I'll leave this here then, and just leave a stack of my cards.
So thank you, Dina.
Sure.
And I was getting ready for the class over here. I didn't hear. Did you mention to them about preliminary closing disclosures for listings?
We didn't talk about preliminary.
You mind, can I throw that in?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so when you have a listing, you're going to want to take to your listing presentation a preliminary closing disclosure so that the seller can see what they might net from the sale of this particular listing. So Dina's office is a great contact for that. You contact her in advance, what, 48 hours?
Sure. Oh, and you can actually, anytime, we actually have an app where you can enter the information, and if you're going on a listing appointment, you can create a net sheet, or if you're going to meet with buyers, you can create a net sheet for a buyer too, and it'll tell them how much to expect to bring to closing. You can put in, play with some different numbers. But if you're doing a listing appointment, it makes a very nice professional document that you can bring to your listing presentation and give to them to show them kind of, estimated sale. It'll estimate the title insurance. It'll estimate the taxes as well. So you just enter what information you have, and then you can always change it. It's your little account in there, so it'll save it. You can delete it, but later you can go in and just tweak a number and print a new one or email a new one to them. So it's a very nice document, and that's called NAT Suite, so N-A-T for North American Title, NAT Suite, S-U-I-T-E, that's the app. And then again, if you don't have that, send me an email, I'll send you the information. You can do that on our website, nat.com, or you can download the app. And then one more thing, we also have an app that you can, instead of driving your earnest money all around Houston, you can take a picture of it and deposit with us. We don't ever need the check. So you can actually send a link to the buyer, and they can take a picture of the check. So no one ever has to drive it anywhere if you don't want them to.
That is really cool.
It's immediately deposited.
Really cool.
It's the safest way to send your money to the title company instead of driving it, and I'll hand it to you, and then you bring it to Tijerina, and then someone picks it up here. And, people just driving all over Houston with this check that could get lost or whatever.
And I think with the new contract, I think we're going to have, 2 days? They're going to place a limit in the new version of the contract.
They are. Okay.
Right now, there's not a written limit in the contract as to when you need to have that earnest money. It's sort of a
reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, there's sort of an understood
3 days.
understanding that that 3 days is the most time that we have to get earnest money in. But now they're going to officially put it in the contract. So this helps big time, because if you've got to be in, Timbuktu, but you've got to have earnest money in Kingwood, that's just not going to work, and you're going to really put yourself in a jam trying to get money to a place that's across town. So this is huge.
So right now the app is only for earnest money. I'm hoping the company that we signed up for this, we're hoping that they add the option to get that in there as well, because trust me, you guys would rather have the option check, not be driving the option check around, but because usually the title company will pick up a check somewhere. So, but it's very nice. It's called Zoccam, Z-O-C-C-A-M. So you just download that in your app store on your phone. Z-O-C-C-A-M. The first app is NAT Suite, so N-A-T-S-U-I-T-E, and it's like a mustard yellow little swirly something or other. So, but yes, we have lots of great information, tools, and resources for you. So if you need anything, please let me know.
Thank you, Dina. All right, so we're ready to go. We're all set up. All right, very good. Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? This is a good group of people, and for you guys to come out on this frigid morning, hats off to you for battling the weather and coming out here to build your business. I was speaking to Chuck yesterday. Don't know if you guys did reported numbers in the last class, but according to Chuck, he's probably not going to have you guys start doing that until next week because you just got started. That's my understanding. Am I correct? Did you report numbers at the last class when Joe was teaching? No. Okay. All right. So that matches with what Chuck was saying. So instead of reporting our numbers, which you'll do next week, so get used to start, to recording, and it's a good habit to get into anyway, to record what you're doing each day so that you can see where your achievements were, maybe where did you not, do so well on a particular part of your lead generation, where do you maybe need to focus more. So keeping track all the time of your calls and so forth is something you definitely want to do in your career. Would you sign in for me, please? And let me introduce myself, and then I want you guys to introduce yourself. And instead of the reporting part, what I'd like to hear is your name, how long you've been in the business, and if you've got some good news to share that happened yesterday or from this week, I would love to hear it. So I'm Laura Tijerina. I am a 14-year agent here with Keller Williams. I started at the Greater Northwest office, and I moved to this office 3 years ago, which was a very, very good move. I wish I had done it much sooner. And I work predominantly, I try to stay in the Cypress area if I can, but being a 14-year agent, you're going to have business just about everywhere. So I go to League City, I go to Rocheron, got a deal going in Liberty right now, so you'll find that your business is going to take you just about everywhere. So if we can start over here with you on the front, tell me your name, how long you've been in the business, and if you've got some good news, please share it. All right. Agnes, we'll let you go next.
Good morning, my name is Agnes. I've been working with my husband for 3 years in the business, and I got a lead.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good. Very good. For a buyer or seller?
Well, I don't know yet.
Ah, okay. All right. A lead is a lead. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Fernando. I started around November, so it's about 2 months,
All right.
3 months.
Very good. Well, welcome. Welcome. I'll have you start here.
I'm Mariluna Hernandez, and I also started in November last year, so pretty new, and I'm still working to get my first lead.
Very good. Well, we're going to help you today. We're going to help you really well.
Hi, my name is Mimi Garcia Caro, and I've been here for a month. And I think I have a lease that's gonna come to me. I'm gonna work for that.
Very good. Very good. Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Richard Fon. I've been here about 2 months.
Very good. Welcome.
I'm David Lee. I've been here about 2.5 months. Nothing positive to report.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're working on it. Sir, over here on the wall.
My name is Jack Warfield.
Welcome. All right. Congratulations. All right. Yay. First closing. Well, if there's anything we can do to help you, let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. We'll start with you on the wall.
I'm Elizabeth Dabney. I've been here since October, and I added about 25 people to my database yesterday. I've been working on it.
Yay. Yay. I love those things. I love those things.
I'm Robin Gay. I've been here for 3 weeks, and I've got a lead. And I got it cold calling, and I think it was this class for coaching.
Excellent, excellent. We are going to talk just a smidge about cold calling today too. So I'd love to hear your input and anything you'd like to share about that when we get to that part.
John Schindler, Petamont. Nothing special.
Nothing yet?
Report yet.
Okay.
Plugging away.
Very good, very good. Go ahead, miss. Your name and how long have you been here?
Sally, me, and I've been here, I started last week,
Oh,
and, well, I made a few contacts, from last class and this class.
very good, very good. Well, welcome. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. November's kind of a hard month with holidays starting, so things are not rolling as much as as they are in other times of the year. So, hang in there.
My name is Courtney Tilton, and I got my license in November.
Very good. Welcome.
My name is Leanne Lopez, and I've been here for almost 2 months, and I have some leads that I'm working on.
Very good. Ah, very good. Oh, very good. Very good. Congratulations.
My name is Janice Character. I've been here since the end of October, and I had my first buyer's appointment this week. I have a buyer who is cash. I just need to find a house.
Very good. Congratulations. I think you're up, Miss. Yes. Very good. Very good.
Laura over, I just started Wednesday.
Ah, welcome.
Yes, I'll be calling you because I'll need to know.
Welcome. Welcome. Always happy to help another Laura.
I'm Jorge Quintanilla. I started on Monday.
Very good. Very good. We've got lots of new people. Okay, we've got our last two ladies in the back.
I'm Melissa, and I have one possible lead, and I've been here since October.
My name is Lindsay Darnell. I've been in the business almost 4 years, here since November, and I security and finance this week.
Very good. Well, welcome. Welcome. Where were you before?
Champions Real Estate Group, and before that, Better Homes and Gardens.
Yeah, well, welcome to our office. I think you'll find it to be a great place to be. So, well, thank you all for sharing. I love hearing where everybody's from and how long they've been here. It seems like all of you guys are pretty much about the November average is what I was getting. So congratulations to you for being here. Definitely stick with the program because it is going to help you to learn all of the things that you should be doing. Some things, might be a little uncomfortable right now, but the quicker you kind of get into that groove, especially, with the calls that you guys are making, the quicker that you can make that a habit, the easier and the more lucrative your career is going to be. I know probably for the first 9-10 years of my career, I kind of floundered through that. I mean, I did well, but wasn't really doing the diligent things every day that you need to be doing. And it wasn't until I started doing that things really started to take off. So don't let it take 9-10 years like I did, because you'll end up regretting it. Start now, get into that habit. Like I said, record your actions, mark things down so you can see, where am I focusing on things that are really bringing me good things, where are maybe some other areas that aren't bringing me good things, and where to put your focus. So really get in the habit of doing those things, even if you're having to push your comfort zone and step out of that. Again, the quicker that you take off that fear, the easier and the more lucrative your career is going to be. And I think that's why we're all here. Did that thing move by itself? Okay, so we've all got our books, correct? Everybody else has I think he left me any packets here. All right, so page 6, is page 6 in your book your action reveal? Don't have one. And I know he had something up here, but it wasn't. Let me have you go to, I think Tucker's over at Agent Services. Let me have you go over there and ask him if he's got some packets. Okay, did they? Do you want me to go print a couple out really quick? Well, I think it's quite lengthy. You're going to need, to be on the list for the next classes.
You can see it in your computer if you have it here.
So when you sign up, do they send you all of the downloads?
Yes, online on they will
Okay, so it's page 6 for you guys, the action reveal. Yes, okay, just to make sure my pages match. So of course next week I think you're going to start on your reporting. There was a video. Did you guys get to watch your video? Did y'all take the time to do that? Anything interesting, ahas, questions that you can add about the video that you guys saw for your homework? Who saw did you see the video? Anybody take the time to see the video? You couldn't access it? Okay, then you'll want to check with either Agent Services or Chuck if you're in coaching. Did it not come up for you?
No, the only way I could see information is if I go to, it's a written.
Okay, so definitely check because that's going to be your homework for the rest of the Ignite sessions is to watch these videos. So I would check. Are you in coaching? Okay, so you're not in coaching. Okay, so check with Agent Services. Okay, good. Okay, so let us turn to, for me, page 8, where you lead generate for business. Okay, so this is your daily, this is the habit that you are going to get in starting now. is that you want to add 10 new contacts to your database. You want to speak with 10 people in your database, and you want to write 10 notes daily, and that's Monday to Friday. 10 contacts, 10 people, and 10 notes. And then weekly, you want to preview 10 homes. And as I'm sure it's been discussed in your other Ignite classes, previewing the homes is going to make you familiar with your market, so that when you're talking with these people that might be a buyer or a seller, and you're in that particular neighborhood, you can actually tell them, oh yes, I'm familiar with that, that particular listing. I happened to preview it recently, and it makes you, it lets them know that you are constantly educating yourself as to what's going on in the market. That's a big plus for a buyer, especially a seller. A seller's going to want an agent who stays educated and stays abreast of the things in their particular neighborhood. So definitely do those previews, whether it's resale or even the new. If you happen to be in a neighborhood that's got new construction, stop in and introduce yourself to that sales agent. You never know when you're going to be in there at the right time where he has a buyer who just happens to have a home that has to be sold in order for them to purchase something new. Plus it also, again, puts you in the mindset of what's in that market, what's the price range, what are the amenities that are being offered in this particular new community. So always, always be out there educating yourself. I had an instructor when I was at Champions, and I always remember what she said. Don't make a habit of the route that you take to come home. Find different routes to come home, so that you're forcing yourself to drive different neighborhoods, educating yourself, where is the school, where are the shopping, where are the other details about a particular neighborhood. Don't stay in a habit. Don't just constantly take the same thing. And that's something that I try to do on a regular basis, just again, so I can familiarize myself with what's in a particular area.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you do it just online, and when we do that, can you still enter it in our tracker? Or are you wanting more like numbers to reflect what we actually go in-house?
Yes, a preview is when you're actually setting foot into the house, because I guarantee you that in many cases what you see when you're in the house may be quite different from what those pictures look like. They're putting pictures, if they're a good agent, they're putting pictures in there that should be the best pictures of that house. What if you come to find out that that's the only good thing about that house, and there's some other things that aren't photographed that you'll want to know. And when that buyer comes to you and says, hey, I like that house on 123 Main Street, you can say, well, you know what, I've seen that street, and yes, it's gorgeous in the pictures, but the roof is in horrible condition, or the siding has a lot of mold, or needs a lot of repair, and that's going to make you look like, hey, this lady's on the ball. So definitely set foot in the houses yourself. Don't just use the MLS. Now, when if you're in a situation where where you have some extra time to do some looking on the internet, that's also good too, just again to keep your mind educated about what you're doing. So, all right. So, of course, our first step is to make the phone calls. And again, I want to stress, fully understand that you guys are doing something that's pushing you out of your comfort zone. But again, the quicker you do it, the quicker you make it comfortable. And you are contacting these people because you need them to know that you're an agent. You just got your real estate license, so you should be excited, and you should want as many people as possible to know that you just got your license. And who do you know that might need to buy or sell this year? Can you share their contact information with me? Or as throughout the year, would you mind if you come across somebody, would you make sure you share my name and number with them, and constantly keep in touch. Your title people, and I think this is part of the course, your title people are good contacts, your vendors are good contacts, your inspectors, your loan officers. You want to know all of these different people in the business because they're all going to be points of reference. So go ahead and get your numbers out, and I think we take 20 minutes. Let me look on here and see what our timeline is for this. Okay, so we'll take 20 minutes to make phone calls. If you need some help, if you have maybe a new contact or a contact you're not quite sure, what to say to them, I'm happy to give you some pointers. So just call me out and I'll come over and help you. So it is 9:25, so at 9:45 we'll stop and go on to our next step. And don't forget to record And do leave messages. If you don't get someone, leave a message.
That was my other question. For the contacts, you only want us to put numbers or add them onto our tracker if we actually speak with them, not if we just leave a voicemail or if no one answers. Correct?
What? That's a Chuck question. I don't know what they're. Let's see. I think they want to know who you've contacted, but you still who you've actually spoken to, had a conversation with. Still record if you left a message. Still record that on your separate, on your own daily what you've done. But I think for the purposes of Ignite, they want to know who you've actually physically spoken to when you're making these calls. So again, if there's someone who wants a couple of pointers as to what should I say, you have scripts beginning on page 9, I believe. Does that match with what your book is? Okay, good. So yes, so page 9 has some suggested scripts. And it's okay to take some of these and make some of the verbiage your own, so that it's comfortable. It's something that you're just going to spit out, because that's what you need to do. You need to be able to just spit these things out on a very comfortable basis. And if some of you want to go out into the kitchen or move around, that's perfectly fine too, because I know there's quite a bit of us in here. But we'll stop at 9:45.
November, December, all the people that I'm close to.
Okay.
So I got through all of those. The rest that I have are people, for example, that I worked with several years ago, and
So it's kind
I
of
was
hard
never in
to.
touch with them.
Mhm.
So how do I make the call to those people that they're gonna be like, you know?
Would it be, are those people that when they hear your name that they're going to go, oh yes, I remember you?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So then the call would be something like this. Hi Maria, this is Laura Tijerina. Do you remember we used to work back together at, blah, blah, blah place? And hopefully the response will be, oh yeah, I remember you. Great. Well, the reason I'm contacting you today is because I have just recently got my real estate license. And I'm making calls to let everybody know about my new career. And I'd like to add you to my database and share information with you. Have you thought about doing anything in real estate this year? So that's question one. Have you thought about doing anything in real estate this year? And if they say something like, well, I think I want to buy, I think I want to sell, well, great. I would love an opportunity to help you. If they say, no, not, I don't think so. Well, okay, great. Who do you know that might want to buy or sell this year? And well, no, I can't. And if they give you an answer, that's great. Good morning. How are you? Hi, Bonita. So, if the answer's like, well, no. Well, who do you know that might be thinking about that? I said, do you have any friends or relatives that are thinking about this? Well, maybe my Uncle Bill. I think he was thinking, oh, great. Well, I would love an opportunity to help him. Would you mind sharing his information with me?
And do I need to catch up and ask how have you been? How's family, since I haven't?
Just short.
Short.
Very,
right?
very short. Okay, and
Close.
again, you can qualify that by saying, because you don't want to sound like you're rude, but at the same time, look, I understand you're at work, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but the reason for my call was to let you know that I have gotten my real estate license. I'm with Keller Williams Memorial. And I always like to use the word Keller Williams Memorial because that name is usually more instantly recognizable. So again, yeah. And if you get their voicemail, I would say in that particular case, I probably wouldn't leave a voicemail, but you can still send them a note to that address.
Okay.
And then when you call them again, in about a week, when you call them, then you get to say, did you happen to get my note?
Okay.
So now you have a reason to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
10 more minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Great job.
They also went very smooth.
Thank you. I look forward to that.
And we haven't seen each other like my family is still here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How's your family? Is your
Well,
family?
my family doesn't live here, so it's a little
So
bit
it's
different.
different.
But I just learned it. I'm just curious between the two experiences, like how they differ. Because
It
it's
sounds smaller.
yes. It's okay. You're doing a good job. Trust me. Yes.
But I gotta leave in like 15 minutes.
Nice. Good job.
And then we'll go to
Congratulations.
my uncle. He's a very good contractor.
Yes. Nice. Now they have a good source for I want to see it.
Paige, yeah, so I was just calling to let you know I went to, I thought of you because I saw Delilah yesterday in Austin. That was a real shock. It was good to see you. Miss you guys. And I am loving my new food. So,
What can you suggest is good networking events? I mean, I've got a lot of contacts in LinkedIn, but you know, LinkedIn doesn't give you email and it doesn't give you phone, and
What do you
know,
like?
you gotta.
What do you like to do? What are your hobbies and your interests?
I like. I'm really into restaurants or wine and food and beverage, sports.
Okay, so wine club. I'm thinking
Yeah,
wine club.
I know I've been on
Start going to
I've been on
different.
meetup.com and found there's a couple of wine
So
groups.
I would do that.
Those are real chatty groups
Yes,
anyway.
exactly. And
Yeah.
they're drinking wine, so they're a little more relaxed, and you can have an easy conversation.
Instead of a business
Oh,
networking
yeah.
event.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seemed like, you know, the formal business networking events, I used to be in insurance. I still carry an insurance license for life and health insurance, but you know, it's like all those formal networking events were loaded with real estate agents and insurance agents. You know.
I agree that can sometimes happen, but if you can find your specialized, are those still contacts for you? Those people from that business?
Well, the challenge is they're all in Dallas.
Okay,
Which
so
is
different city.
Not so bad. I mean, you know, they may have family member, and I'll still go back, but I've kind of let that get cold up
Is
there.
that particular company in existence here in
What?
Houston? The company in Dallas that you were working with?
I was an independent broker.
Okay.
So I was just working with a spray of all sorts of different people up there.
Okay.
But when I moved back here in 2011, got a divorce, you know, and everything just went crazy, and so I kind of I didn't really follow up on that. So calling those people after 7 or 8 or 10 years, it's like, hey, how's it going? It's like, who are you?
Well, this lady over here just asked me about the same thing, about a work situation where she's been out of contact with these people for several years, and how do we get back in?
And the answer, though, for sure, is that, you know, what can it hurt? I mean, all they can say is, well, you know, I don't care, or my phone's disconnected, or I've moved, or I don't even know who you are.
Right, and we are going to touch on, when we're on finding business and some of those things that we can say and so forth. But, you know, what I would do for you, you know, where are you going to put yourself? Where do you go on a regular basis where your interests are? Because that's where you're going to find people that you're going to have an easy conversation with. You're going to start out with the wine or a sport event. Like what, in particular, what sports do you go see or go play?
Football and golf.
Golf.
Yeah.
Golf is a great
I've
avenue.
had back problems, so I haven't been playing any golf.
Okay.
But you know, I'm totally.
So hopefully you've got some golf buddies.
Of, you know, like, hey, how's it going? What do you do? And
they have. Many of these golf clubs have those. I don't know what you call them because I'm not golf.
Bulletin board or.
Well, no, not that. But when they have those events and you sponsor a
scramble.
hole. Yeah. Where you can sponsor a hole. So that would be a good, find an inexpensive, you know, one because you're not one. You don't spend a whole lot of money right now, but sponsor a hole somewhere, and that gets you.
The other great idea I got from Joe was doing a happy hour.
Okay.
Inviting people and say, hey, apps are on me, and I've got friends in the restaurant business that I think would love me to do that, and they would even probably
they'd benefit.
They'd probably give me a deal on the apps, you know. So and he said, so you get 3 people or you get 100. You know.
That's right. That's right. And it's not always so much about quantity, but quality. You know, if you can get
right, and it's all very scalable. So if more people show in, you just order more apps, and if they don't, then you don't, and so you get what you get. And anyway, I like that idea. Anything else?
Are you in a subdivision?
Yeah. The interesting thing about that is that there's a group from Gary Green, a husband and wife team, Leah and Josh, and they just mail the crud out of our neighborhood.
Okay, but we have no boundaries here.
No,
I have no boundaries. So,
I understand that. So I mean, it's
an
just
open
like,
market.
Do I challenge them in this market that they've been just feeding on for years and years?
Hold that thought, and when we get to that section, and if I somehow miss it, you know, raise your hand. What is your name?
John.
John. All right, nice to meet you, John.
I need to get a bag.
Exactly. Always have that on. Don't be a secret agent.
So where's that? Don't be a secret agent.
Don't be a secret agent. That's what they tell us.
Where do we just order that through?
On the Keller Williams website, vendors.
Okay.
So. All right, guys. Time is up on on calls. Anybody have something really neat that happened when they were making calls? I did hear a bunch of calls, so I'm impressed. Any good news? One back here. What happened? Tell us.
Somebody that used to work for, I called her, and she's trying to buy a house.
Awesome. And was that hard? Did you die? No, you didn't. You know, nothing happened. Okay, yeah, nervous is good. That means you care about something. Exactly. Congratulations. That's awesome. So, again, yes, we don't die. It doesn't kill us to do this. Yes, it's a little uncomfortable at first, but the quicker you can make that go away, the more it's actually going to be fun doing it. One of my favorite things that we're going to talk about this a little bit further in is I love to door knock. And if you had told me maybe 7 years ago that I was going to do door knocking and enjoy it, I would have said you are totally crazy if I'm going to go and knock on somebody's door. That's my favorite thing to do, is go and knock on doors, and we'll expound on that a little bit further in the class. So what we're going to do now is you've got to write notes to these people that you called, or maybe if you left a message, I would still send them a note and say, hey, you know, tried to reach you yesterday or tried to reach you today. Looking forward to talking with you. I started a new career in real estate and would love to talk to you. Stick your card goes in there and you mail that card. So we're going to write, let's see, how many? I think they want you to do two to three notes. Does anyone need note cards? Because I've got some here that I'm, okay. Hopefully I've got. You're welcome. Two? Yeah, if you decide you don't use the second one, you can always just hand it to somebody else. Who? If you did two, one.
Thank you.
Oh, I need to send one. Thank you.
Can you use two? One? One, okay. Everybody got no cards over here? Need any? No, good. Note cards. Okay, I got it.
You like my note card?
Oh, very nice.
Very nice. You are on top of it.
Very nice. Who did these?
Vistaprint.
Oh.
Oh, I like your logo. Yeah, thank you. That's cool.
Very nice. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, he's very gifted.
That is very nice. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Are you okay? Anybody cards over here?
Note cards?
Sure.
Are you still going over there?
Let's see. And this lady's waiting over here. Let me get.
I know this is going to be a very strange question, but we can just send any cards. I thought they had to be purchased here. We couldn't use them any other way.
But these are like the postcards or something.
This is an actual card. It does open.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
You could use a postcard. You could use a postcard. There is no hard and fast rule about, what you can put on there. You're welcome.
Can I have one of yours? Because I've been doing all these open houses, and I'm not exactly sure.
We okay. Absolutely. We will touch on that in the class. But if for some reason, I know you have to leave early. Do you need a card?
I don't know. Do I?
We're writing notes.
Sure, why not?
You're writing a note to the people that you're here.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
yes.
Yeah, I wrote. I did.
So, did you get some?
I got one.
Okay. Okay.
I spoke to a couple. How do you do that?
Can you use one or two?
I guess two.
Okay. These are my last two.
Oh, I spoke to two. Or three, but I can use.
Let me see. I might have some in my briefcase. Let me look and see. Okay, so write your notes. We've got 5 minutes to get this done.
But you still could do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Did I get everybody for cards? Did I get you? Yes? Let me get you some envelopes here.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget to put your business card in there. Sure. How are you doing, Miss Agnes? Look at you. You got it all put together. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, we can show them those stickers. No, I belong to a program,
Okay.
and we can talk about that after class.
Okay.
Just remind me. Okay. Yes, sir.
Postcards?
No.
Or no,
No, these are actual cards. They open up.
Nice. Nice little one.
Let's see. Okay, 1 more minute to finish those notes. Yes, I know they have marketing in Spanish.
Marketing, yes, but what about notes, samples?
Oh, like these?
Yeah, because I found the English ones, but do they have it in Spanish?
I would call.
Okay.
Because I know they have the marketing materials that are in Spanish, but
Okay.
I've never, I don't know about these.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, get your notes wrapped up, and we are going to go to page 13. All right, so page 13. Lead generation is job number 1. This is one of those items that the quicker that you can understand that lead generation is equal to the houses you sell, the buyers that you're finding properties for, equally important. It's not something that needs to go on the back burner. It's something that is a priority thing to do every single day. You are planting the seeds for business that you're going to have in 60 days, 90 days, and so forth. So you constantly have to be doing that so that you have that pipeline of business. You saw that in November is probably, it was not as easy to get those contacts or get those leads in November, but when you're working in the summer and building up that pipeline, you'll find that your Novembers and your Decembers can be quite busy because you were already working that pipeline from something that happened months prior to that. So it's something you do all year long, January to December. And again, just as important as everything else is the lead generation. So quote from John Davis, success leaves clues. Agents who take Ignite achieve 71% more contacts, 65% more calls, and 88% more previews. They grow their market share and create opportunities. This is so true. And again, kudos to you for coming out on this cold, cold day to invest in your business, because these are the things that later on, this is making your foundation of a very successful career. All right, page 13. So we've talked about lead generation, why it is important. It ensures that you not only will get business quickly, but consistently. And again, that's the name of the game. So when December comes around, most agents, they take that time off. Most that are not working full-time or not working diligently tend to think, okay, nothing's going to happen in December. I'm just going to, kind of lounge around and do nothing. If you're a serious agent and you want this to be a continual stream of income for you, you're going to be busy in December and November. Lead generation turns a feast or famine cycle that most agents go through and creates a steady upward increase in business. So, and again, I said the difference between successful and not so successful agents is that successful agents make lead generation a daily habit and set out to master the skills, systems, and tools of lead generation. Okay, so here's our diagram of what we're doing with our leads. That's at the beginning of our funnel, and at the end of our funnel, we're trying to get to a closing or a payday. But it starts at the top. Our leads become appointments. The appointments turn into agreements. The agreements turn into contracts. And then we have our closing, which is, of course, our main goal. When you're generating leads, everyone you come in contact with is a generation possibility. It's a source of business, even other agents. There are agents who only like to work certain areas of town. So it would be good for you to build a relationship with an agent so that when they need coverage on, say, the north part of town, and they don't want to drive there, then you've got a referral relationship, and vice versa. You might be in a situation where maybe you end up taking a listing in Alvin, and you don't live near Alvin, but you want to be able to have your listing shown, and you want to be able to call somebody at the ready and say, I've got a buyer for my listing, can you take care of them? And so on a listing, you'll not only get your commission for having that listing, but the referral part that you've subbed out to this other realtor, you're going to get a portion of that back as the referral fee. So it's a good way to, to really increase your income by having that relationship that you're always going to be able to go to each other. I'm blessed to have someone in League City that I met when I had a listing out there, a very good agent that we call each other all the time. When she needs something up on the north side, I'm always there to do something for her, and when I need something down there, she's always ready. I happen to need some vendor contacts for a League City listing, and she was the first person I called to. She had people to refer to me that I needed right away to get this listing taken care of. So very beneficial. Agents are also going to be people that you need to be in touch with. All right, so prospecting is an investment, and it's a commitment to your business. Prospecting is critical to your business for the following reasons. And I'm on page 15, by the way. The benefits of prospecting. Okay, so one, it's inexpensive and yields immediate results. It doesn't cost you anything to make that phone call. It doesn't cost you anything to go to that network. I'm assuming it didn't cost you much to go to your networking event. It doesn't cost much to be the places that you're going to be where there's groups of people, the things that interest you. John and I were having a conversation. The places that you're going to be on a regular basis because of your interests, these are places where you want to build those relationships with the people around you, and you're already there, and it's not costing you extra to be there, whether it's your gym membership or a wine club, golf. It's not costing you other than what you're normally going to be doing anyway. So just do your business where you're at. 2, it puts you in control of filling your pipeline of leads, which we've talked about. You want your pipeline to be full so that all year long you've got closings. Increases your confidence and skill. The more you do this, the more these calls that you make, and again, I know I'm going to say it over and over again. I know how uncomfortable it is. It's hard. More you do it, the easier this is going to become, and it's not going to be scary anymore. Then 1, it keeps you in direct contact with the market and protects against market shifts. So again, if you are your people that you're calling on a regular basis, when you have a listing, these are the people that you're going to be calling to say, I've got a new listing in Spring. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with this fabulous pool. Do you know anyone that might be looking to move in Spring? And you're going to call everybody in your database when you get that listing. That's going to be a conversation. And while you're having that conversation, either they're going to have someone that's going to help you find a buyer for that listing, or in the process of touching base with them, because you haven't talked to them in about 2 months, they might say, well, you know what, how's it going in Spring? How's that market? I'm kind of thinking about wanting to sell. So constant contact with these people that you're doing. You're going to be contacting them about every 60 days, whether it's a phone call or a note, or to call them because you have a new listing and you need everybody to know that you've got a new listing. You're trying to find a buyer for that listing, and your seller's going to love that, because most agents don't do that. Most agents, when they've got a new listing, they are not calling the people in their database to let them know, I've got a new listing. Do you know anybody that's looking in that area? So make that one of your to-dos. At the bottom of your page, we have myth and truth. So the myth is that in your prospecting, you're annoying people. That's not on the screen, sorry. That you're annoying people and you're going to get rejection. Wrong. Wrong. The truth for that is you're prospecting, you're meeting people, and you're building a purposeful business relationship. People don't know to go to you unless they know what you do. Do not be a secret agent. You want everyone to know what you do. Even, tell me your name again? Mary Luna. As Mary was discussed, she says, what about these people that I worked with 7 years ago? Call them. Call those people. I'm in a new business. Just wanted to let you know about my new business. Are you thinking about doing anything in real estate this year? The answer is yes. Bingo. If the answer is not right now, okay, well, who do you know that might want to buy or sell this year? because they could very well know someone. They could very well. And I was thinking about looking up a realtor. I was just, you know, that's something I was going to do next week. And you just happen to be at the right place at the right time. So these people are, you know, again, anybody that you know is going to be a source of business for you. And you are not bothering them. You are not annoying them. In many cases, you're not going to get a connection or even talk to that person on the first phone call. It may take you 3, 4, 5 phone calls and leaving messages before you actually talk to them. And don't think that because you're not reaching this person that it's taking 4 or 5 more attempts to get in touch with them. Do not think that, oh, I'm bothering them. As you know, we all have lives. We all have things that are happening. You have no idea what that person's dealing with at that particular point in time. May not just be a good time for them to have that conversation. But by you leaving that message or sending the note, sending them a little something or the other, you're keeping your name top of mind with these people. And the name of the game is when that person thinks of real estate, you want to be that name that they think about. And you do that, again, by constant contact with people. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
I'd like to just add to that really quick. There was a client that I had within my first year that I sold a property to. It was one of my first deals. And because I was making calls in here the other day, for some reason it was just on my mind to call and reach out to them just to see how they were doing. And it turns out he actually didn't know I was still in real estate. And he was about to call somebody else. And he's one of the clients that I secured this week. So the property wasn't an offer.
Prime example.
So I keep reminding people.
Prime example. Thank you for sharing that, because yes. So get it out of your head that you are bothering these people or that you're annoying them. You're not. If they're not answering, they just can't talk at that time. It's not a, you know, again, remove the personal, you know, rejection, the idea that they're rejecting you, because they're not. It's not about you. They just simply cannot have that conversation at that point in time. Yes, ma'am. If you have a group of people or friends that you know it's better to reach them by text, by all means you can do that. You know, the app is a great way, you know, to share that. I use texting quite a bit as well, because I've got leads coming in on a property. I can't get back to that person the moment that they're calling, so I'll send a quick text letting them know I did get your information. I will be calling you this afternoon. But yes, if you know the people, that's how they like to communicate. And again, ask them when you're meeting someone and it's someone that you don't know that well. Ask that question. What is your best way to communicate? How do you like to communicate things? So that they can tell you, well, I prefer email, I prefer phone calls, I prefer texts. Now I will state, when you're in a transaction, you're actually got a deal that you're working, you want to move away from the text. Make the text be only for, I'm running late, did you get that email that I sent you? Did you get that form that I need you to sign? When you're in a deal, a transaction, you need to have your communication go to emails and documentation. So if you're making a phone call and you're discussing the inspection report, and you're discussing things that you want to ask for, you're going to then send an email. After you hang up that phone, you're going to send an email. Per our conversation, we discussed A, B, and C. Am I understanding correctly? And let them respond back. That way you have a paper record of what happened in that transaction. That's just good risk management practice. But try to avoid, on the texting, avoid these lengthy negotiations and agreements and so forth. Leave the texting for the marketing type things in the beginning of a relationship, or I'm running late, or here's the directions, something of that nature. Make sense? Okay, let's go to 16, the 4 C's of prospecting. Prospecting is a conversation. It's all about creating the kind of personal connections that will lead to a purposeful relationship you can build a business on. You make prospecting happen through 4 simple steps: capture, connect, close, and cultivate. So your capturing is what you're doing now. Is it you're trying to get leads by going out there trying to dig up who's needing to buy or sell. Then you connect by establishing a relationship. So that would be somebody that gives you a referral, and then you're calling the referral and starting that new relationship with them. 3, you finally close them for an appointment and eventually to buying or selling real property. And then 4, cultivate them to maintain and strengthen your relationship. So the cultivate part happens after you have that closing. Let's see, you have a closing this week. This gentleman here, I'm sorry, tell me your name? Jack. Okay, so Jack has a closing tomorrow? Okay, so after you close, you're going to want to check back. Is this a house? Okay, so you're going to want to check back with them a week later. How did the move go? Is there anything you need from me? Something that I can do? So a week later, you're going to get in touch with them. Maybe week 3, same thing. How's it going? Just making sure things are still going well there. Is there anything you need from me? Then after that, probably every 60 days, you're going to be in touch with them. In January of next year, you're going to be in touch with them because they have to file their homestead paperwork. And you're going to remind them to do that or send them the form by email so that they can file their homestead paperwork. So every about 60 days, you want to be in touch with those people. And so when they think real estate, and they need to refer a realtor to somebody, it's going to be you. It's going to be you because you didn't float away. You didn't just take your commission check and run away like the majority of people tend to do. Agents tend to do that. So again, stay in touch with these people. Are these friends of yours or is this a new lead? Oh, okay. So definitely. Okay. Right, exactly. And because it's somebody new, then they know a lot of people. And you want to be the person that when they're talking to all of their friends, that you're the real estate person of choice. So that's a great relationship you've got started there. All right, so the bottom of page 16. Business building conversations aim to achieve these goals. Get an appointment or get a referral. Each and every time you're making a call or meeting someone, those are your 2 things that you want to focus on. Get an appointment or get a referral. And they always accomplish the following: strengthen the relationship. And when you start with these conversations, you always want to, you're not going to call them and immediately say, hi, I'm in real estate, who do you know? That is not the way to build a relationship. You want to build the rapport, talk about their family, ask them about how their job is going, something that starts that relationship. If you go in with them with, wham, I'm Laura, I'm a real estate agent, do you want to sell? That wall goes up. So always make it a nice conversation, especially like at your networking events. People are going to want to do business with you because they like you. So create that relationship first. Make them like you first. And then when they think of, then ease in that real estate, and they're going to think of you because they like you. I mean, if you think of the people that you guys do business with, your insurance agent, your dentist, doctors, and so forth, you do business with these people probably because you like them and you trust them. So you need to build that same relationship with these people. And that's those dentists, those doctors, they need realtors too. So when you're making those appointments, yes, you're there for the doctor to treat you, but remind them, I'm a real estate agent. Have you thought about doing anything in real estate this year? So, okay, page 17, capture. Okay, top of page 17. The goal of building a database is to capture as many haven't mets as possible and turn them into mets quickly. And that turns into repeat and referral business. One of the best ways to do this is leverage your mets through prospecting. In Ignite Sessions 1 and 2, you've been capturing contact information from your mets, but odds are you still don't have all of the information you need from everyone. Remember, every time you speak with someone in your database, make sure you have all their information. In your conversation, then add on by the way, what's your address? What's your email address? The e-edge database that we have at our disposal for Keller Williams is excellent because it provides not only the place for you to manage this information, but there is a reminder feature so that when you go into that particular database and you're calling that person that day, you can type in your notes about whatever it is you talked about. You can document, maybe you had to leave a message. So you're going to document that you left a message. Then you can set the reminder that you want to call them either next week, next month. You can turn that reminder on and it'll pop up automatically into your database when you open it up in the morning to say, okay, who do I need to call today? Because when your database gets big, you're going to need something that's going to remind you to do that. And that way you're keeping a constant communication with these people. You don't want to let a huge amount of time go by between calling them because they will, you will come out of mind if you're not at least every 60 days touching base with them. All right, so top of page 18, connect. Successful real estate agents understand how important it is to connect with people and refine this skill by doing it often and consistently. Your goal in the connect step is to approach an individual in a way that builds rapport and trust. One of the best ways is with questions. Look for opportunities to be of service to them. When you use your scripts and uncover a real estate need, dig deeper for more information that will help you close. So in the box, these are things that you can say to kind of bring up information about whether or not that person is maybe needing real estate help at some point. So, one, get the details to add to your database. This is where you're asking, what's your email address, what's your physical address, those things of that nature. Then assessing their wants and needs. What are you looking for? What do you want to do? Pinpoint their location. Where would you like to buy? Where is your home located? And on these people that are new points of contact for you, in the e-edge database, put those things in your notes. Looking to live in the Heights. Wants a fixer-upper in Meyerland. Put all of that in there so that when you go back in there, you can immediately pick up the conversation and say, hey, are you still thinking about going to the Heights later on this year? Determine their motivation. You definitely want to know why they're moving. That will help you not only be a better real estate agent, but it'll help you service exactly what their needs and understand what they're dealing with in their life with this move. Real estate can be a very, very stressful time for people. So our job as agents is to reduce that stress and to cover as many things as we can so that it's an easy transaction for them. Because again, I guarantee you that it's not an easy thing for them, to pick up and move and make these, very hard decisions about, a huge amount of money that they're going to spend. So again, always make sure that you are doing things to, again, make that easier in their lives. Assess their expectations. So how do you plan to do this? That meeting with somebody who is going to move or list or buy, you'll want to talk about what's the timeline. When do you need to be at your new place? If you have someone whose house you're listing and they also need to buy another house, an important question that you're going to need to know is if your house doesn't sell and you've got to buy this house over here, can you buy this house, the new house, without having to sell the first house? If for some reason we don't get this one sold and you have to buy this other, or if they're building, maybe they're building. And again, you're going to want to represent them if they're doing new construction. That builder, the rep at the builder's office represents the builder. Their first interest is the builder, not the customer. So you as an agent want to have new construction clients because you need to represent their needs, make sure that they're being treated fairly, and correctly. And there are going to be sticky points along the way with title and lending and so forth that a real estate agent is much more qualified at handling instead of the actual buyer. All right, so before we go to page 19, I'm going to let you guys take a 10-minute break. So it is 10:20. Let's come back at 10:30.
Do you know when the next class is? I was looking at KW Rocks, the next class for
let's see.
well, the next class for showing. No, showing open house.
Oh, and you said it was not listed yet on KW Rocks?
I didn't see. I was just scrolling down and didn't get.
You are.
I need to get a big phone.
Normally, you'll get an email about 2 weeks before that class is going to take place.
Because I want to start doing some open houses for people, and one of the ones I called on. Well, I called one last weekend, and I never heard back from Courtney. I guess she was busy. And then I called another gal, Nancy, I think it was, real nice house in the Heights, and she said, "Are you new?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm new." And she said, "Yeah, well, this is kind of a high-end house, so I'd rather you be having done the training."
Oh, this is not open house. This is showing agent.
But it would be in Ignite.
Let me see who normally does.
Do you office in here? Do you have an office?
No, I do not office here. I live in Cypress.
Okay.
So I'm only here usually about 2, maybe 3 times out of the week. Let me think. Who normally does the open house class?
I can find.
We, you are going to get it. You'll get an email about 2 weeks before.
But we're gonna talk about open houses at some point through Ignite.
Yes. Yes, and in fact, I think there is. I think in this one here, there's a small.
So in other words, the higher level question is, what things can I do to tell other agents that I'm ready to go? And
okay, definitely take the class, and then
comes up.
Houston. Let's see, what is the name of their?
What the hawk?
It's gosh, and her name escapes me right now. They're typically looking for not Houston Relo Properties. Let me see here. I know there's they probably don't have the same restrictions on your status for having open houses. Let me see if I can find there.
Because I've heard that's a good way to get contacts.
Yes, it is. And it helps you learn other areas, because before you go do that open house, you're going to want to do some homework.
You're going to go do comps and drive around and check out the school and do all that homework in advance. And then I'm gonna go to that open house that Nancy had in the Heights, and she said, "We'll come by, and so and so is going to be doing the showing, and so I can meet him and talk to him and just start getting coached up by all the other agents."
Remind me, because that's a good point that we want to share with everyone, is that when so if you're driving around and you encounter an open house,
just go.
Go.
Yeah.
That's a preview. And you don't have to make the appointment. You can just walk in.
You're already there.
Exactly.
Right.
Saturday or Sunday, you can do that and do your previews.
Done that a few times.
Yes, exactly. It's a very easy way to get that done.
And it takes 5 minutes.
Moving Houston team. This is. Why don't you jot this number down?
Can you email it to me?
Let's see.
So then I'll have your.
Let me see if I can do this.
Oh, good. Somebody sent me a LinkedIn message. LinkedIn stuff. Oh, good. I got a thoughtful note from somebody
Good deal.
on LinkedIn. You know, it's half as much work to. I mean, half the work is just throwing out messages and
Yes.
and trying, because if you don't have their phone number, you got to send them a LinkedIn
Yes.
message and
Yes.
say, hey, what's up and how you doing, and you don't want to just come right out with, can I have your referrals? I mean, you know,
Yes.
how are the kids? How's the wife? And,
Okay,
know,
and
how's
then
your health? And oh, by the way, you know, I mean, at least give it
Yes.
a breath first.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Okay, what's your phone number?
It's 832-506-9999. I'm gonna keep that one for a while. Easy.
So I'm sending you the Moving Houston team, and I would call them and say, you know, I'm an agent here in the office, wondering if you've got any open houses that.
Yeah. So the other thing was to find new listings. The other advice I got was find new listings and ask them when are you planning on having an open house?
Or do you need some?
So
do you need someone to do an open house?
Do you need some? Right. And then so just be proactive there. But is there a good way to sort new listings within Keller Williams, or do you try to do that with?
No, because what you're going to find is that the month of January has been a little bit sparse, at least so far. But you're going to get a ton of emails on a regular basis. Need somebody to do open house. You should get. There's probably at any particular week 10 to 15.
You mean on the open?
No, on your
open, right.
That get emailed to you.
Yeah.
So 10 to 15, and so boom, just respond.
Well, I found that's another question.
But of course, you know the ones that are looking for the seasoned agent. So
that's through the
2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes.
You know, through the app, you can, instead of having them all come into my inbox, it depends
like a
on
one-stop.
how you want to do that.
Well, once you do the open house course, then you will become a member of the Win-Win Open House team.
Right.
And that has its own site.
Win-Win certified.
It has its own site where you can see who needs an open house done. Because you're looking for a direct spot to go to.
Right.
That would be that.
And then we can start working the property desk and.
No, that's a different course. Working the phones. You have to take the Working the Phones course before you can do property desk.
Okay, but that's going to be offered through. I'll be able to see that
right.
on the calendar.
Right.
Okay, so heads
right.
up for that. And any other class that's super.
Nothing
super
off the
important.
top of my head, but I'm sure before we finish this.
Yeah, because of course Ignite's going to take
right.
me Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Right.
Through January.
Right. But contact Lynn at that number and see if they've got any open house needs.
Okay.
They typically do have on a regular basis.
Great.
So.
And I mean, I can say, hey, I'm experienced in sales and I've done a whole bunch of previews and a little bit of homework. I'll be ready.
Yeah, and their qualifications are not going to be huge. They're not going to scrutinize
me on that.
No.
You got a business card. You got a smile. You know that. Thank you so much. And one last question. I've got tons of questions, but how much do you use, subgroups and categories within eEdge? Do you use that much? Under contact type, so it's vendor, personal contact. I mean, right now they're all personal.
Okay.
And so
I use vendor.
There's a subtype.
I use vendor, and so for vendor, you're going to have maybe title.
Right, I got that, but there's another field under there called category. That's right under.
Under vendor.
Under lead type. Does
it give you choices?
It goes in a lead. So it's an open field. So.
You have your laptop?
Yep.
Can you pull it up? I'm not recognizing off the top of my head, but I can answer your question.
create a new, and I used to do CRM design and that's
Mm-hmm,
all that.
mm-hmm.
So we've got subtype
okay.
over there and category. So I'm thinking that this could be a further subdivision of type, or another, if this field here, so this is a subfield to this. So
I must not use this one.
if I did that, then I might further categorize this as family. You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking this is a further subtype of this field,
right?
And this field can be sortable under everything else.
Yes, I don't use
you don't
this
use
one,
that one,
but
okay.
Probably something that I'm thinking that is if you want to sort your, well, it has hot, warm, and all that. It gives you a,
that's what I'm thinking. Then maybe is groups is former insurance. I could put insurance or schoolmates or something like that.
You could. I don't think you'll utilize it all that much.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
Right.
So, and then there's a notes section.
But I'm sure I'll be able to find
if you were to export
on eEdge.
Oh yes, in KW.
Somebody will have something on that.
But I've not used. I do use the type. I do have some subtypes, but I can't say that I use category. It's not a crucial.
And then when you set reminders, you manually set reminders. So what I always did is put some kind of activity like Facebook message or text message or something that I tried to hit, or left message, and I just had a spreadsheet and I put LBM for left voicemail and those kind of little notes, so I knew that I called him 2 days ago. And so I'll just put a tickler and say in 5 more days, well, let's try calling him again.
Exactly.
So you just do a reminder then. You just set up a reminder, put a note in there, and then put a reminder.
Whether it's a week, 2 weeks, I mean, you can pick the date, whatever date you want.
So the reminder is call, and then when you pull up the record, you see, oh, well, I left him a message.
Exactly. So
it's all I will always concept.
Exactly.
Every kind of day.
Exactly. So.
Oh, I apologize.
Excuse me. All right, guys, let's go back to, we're on page 19. I do not have a stamp.
It's one of those two.
Oh, here's Friday. Sorry, I'm not familiar with this spreadsheet.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you All right, guys, we're at the page, top of page 19. And that's item number 3, which is close. Close is the process of asking for business. So, you can close on your transaction, your buy or your sell, but you're actually always closing people when you're trying to get that appointment. Connecting is crucial, but unless you get their business, you won't be making any money. Many agents are successful at connecting with people. It's the asking for business that is so challenging. Again, your goal for the call is to close for at least one of the following: an appointment with them, a referral from them, or a reciprocal connection with them. And again, I'll state again, anybody that you meet, whether it's a vendor in our business, the lenders, the title companies, the inspectors, your friends, your family, friends from church, people you work with or used to work with, clubs that you're in, your neighbors, every single one of those people is a possible contact and lead for you. When you're done with this class at some point in the future, you are going to want to take the BOLD class. And in the BOLD class, the goal is to be making 100 contacts each week. So when you're in BOLD and you're doing this, every single person that comes within a few feet of you. If you're in line at the grocery store, that person behind you is definitely a contact. That person at the gas station pumping gas next to you, the manager at the Burger King, every single one of those people needs to know what you do. So don't be afraid to whip out that card and say, oh, would you mind if I give you my card? I'm a real estate agent in this area. You know, perhaps we can do some business in the future. You know, there's different scenarios where you have just a little bit of time to make that connection, and it's okay to kind of bypass the little family and work chit chat and just pull that card out and say, you know, here's my card. So. A reciprocal connection, meaning at some point in the future, they're going to give you a piece of business, or you're going to bring a piece of business to them, and have that circular type relationship. All right, so the bottom of this page talks about the different ways that you're going to close these people. And depending on your situation, you know, these are close suggestions of how to, things to verbalize. And again, it all depends on your nature, you know, your personality, and the particular situation that you're in when you're building that relationship and making that connection with a person. So number one, the hard close is basically, let's meet. Let's have that meeting. You know, you're communicating that let's set the appointment. Two, the soft close. I really enjoyed visiting with you. When would you like to get together and discuss this further? Three, the direct close. Can we meet today, or would tomorrow be better? The indirect close. Would it be okay if I got some information to look over and then we can meet to discuss? Five, the trial close. I think you would agree that we have gone over enough today that meeting would be our next step. Six, the assumptive close. It sounds like we should meet. I'm available most times this week, so what works best for you? This particular close is especially good when you've got a new buyer connection, where you're talking over the telephone, and maybe on property desk you get a call, and you need to, before you start going out in the car and making appointments, you need to make sure that that buyer is qualified. You don't want to use your time showing houses until you know that these people can actually get financing for that house they want to buy. It's important when you come across that person to get them into the office and have a meeting with them. That's going to show you their motivation. If they're willing to spend, say, an hour meeting with you, maybe they don't have a lender. They haven't talked to a lender yet. So that's got to be the step one before you guys go all over the place looking at houses. So, you know, this particular close is one that you'll use quite a bit with those types of buyers. The negative positive close. Would you be offended if I asked if we could meet to go over this? 8, the take back close. I really enjoyed visiting with you. To be honest, I'm not sure if I can help or not, but I would be honored if we could meet to find out. 9, the tie down close. Wouldn't it make sense for us to meet in the next day or so? 10, the alternative choice close. What works better for you? Meeting today, sometime this afternoon, or tomorrow morning? So again, all of these are suggested ways to verbalize your communication with that prospect. So study them, practice them, figure out which ones are most natural for you, and put them, you know, put them in the brain so that when you meet that person, it's going to come out just very naturally. Okay, next page, 20. Cultivate. Whether or not you have closed an appointment or gotten a referral, once a connection has been made, it can always be strengthened. It's an ongoing process. The relationships established here will continue to build as you keep in touch and perhaps eventually do business together. You want the relationship to keep building. People who like you will do business with you and refer more business to you. Setting up your contacts on a touch campaign in eEdge will continue to cultivate the relationship. So eEdge is a wonderful tool. Once you put your contacts in that database and start the campaigns, those campaigns, based on what you choose, are going to touch them on a consistent basis without you ever having to go in and do anything. It's very automatic. then when the e-edge system has sent out that campaign, whether it's an email or like an e-postcard, you're going to get a reminder of it in your system, and you can call a week later or a couple of days later and say, did you see my email? Do you have any questions about it? Is this something that is something that you might want to take advantage right now? So that way, again, you're having constant communication with people, because on any given day, you've got your 3 hours of lead generation, and then the rest of the day is showing and taking care of contracts and so forth. When your database is this big, you need some help on staying in touch with them. So that campaign is an excellent way to do that. Bottom of the page. Be sure to use the information you gain about them, their wants and needs, to enrich your future touches by sharing information they will appreciate. So if you know that a particular client likes wine or golf or just whatever their particular interest is, make sure you put a note in there so that you can ask them, how's your son's baseball team doing? How's this happening? They're going to like the fact that you remembered that little personal thing, and we've got the database to put in those little notes, so you don't have to always keep it in your memory. You just open up their contact and you can see, here's their kids, here's their ages, here's what they like to do. They're going on vacation to Hawaii, so whenever they get back from Hawaii, you call them, and maybe they liked Hawaii so much that they want to move there. So then, boom, you're going to find a Hawaii Keller Williams agent and refer that piece of business. So always ways to do business in real estate. It doesn't have to be here in Houston. So. All right, page 21. Oh, let's see, let me go back here. And for anyone who gives you a referral, include a thank you reward and positive progress reports about the referral into touches for that referring contact. So you get a referral from somebody, and you call that person, you make an appointment, stay in touch with that person that referred the business to you, thanking them for the referral, letting them, hey, we're going to close next week on that house, and I really want to say thank you again for sending me that business. They're wonderful people. They've been so nice to work with. So people love that. And then send them a little gift, a thank you gift for sending that referral. And I send referral gifts just for the referral, just for the contact information. It doesn't have to be something that leads to a close that you reward them for that referral. Reward your people that are giving you referrals, because that will be a continual thing. Page 21, sphere of influence. This is huge. Your sphere of influence, all the people who know you, trust you, and may do business with you. This is your gold mine. These are the people that you are going to treat the best. You are constantly going to be rewarding them, giving them information, keeping them as close as possible to you, because they're going to feed you the leads that you need. Think of the people closest to you as the inner circle of your sphere of influence. They are your biggest champions. They already know, trust, and respect you. Therefore, they are willing to help you. Because, after all, people like to do business with people they know, trust, and respect. Your inner circle is a group of people that you'll look to most often and reward most often for help and support in referring business your way. In fact, the majority of your business during the first year of real estate will most likely originate from your inner circle. It is only natural that your sphere is the place where you'll begin to find leads. This diagram is an excellent source, so when you get to the point where you think, gosh, I've called everybody, I don't know who else I can call, looking at a diagram like this will refresh your memory on, okay, who are the people maybe that I haven't got to yet, that I haven't called, that fit in one of these categories. Okay, 22. So this is a activity. Okay, is it page 22? Looks like this. It's got the boxes. Yes? Okay. No, it says 20. Oh, I see. It says 22 there, 24 there. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is an exercise, and there is a reward for this exercise. Your job is to write down as many names as you can for each category. Even if you only know someone's first or last name, write it down. And you see all the different categories: friends, church, club, volunteer, professional services, real estate agents, home and auto repair, personal services. So we are going to take 10 minutes, and you are going to jot down as many people as you can in this category. So let me get this started here. Okay, go. The box? I don't think so. No. You can just write down anybody that you know. The categories are hobbies, teachers, church. 5 minutes.
Give it some time. I gotta salt it.
Minute and a half left. Thirty seconds. All right. Was that hard? Did you find out that maybe you have more people that you know to talk to than what you originally thought? Who needs more people? Or who has a lot? Some people need more? Okay. Count up your list. Okay, y'all done? All right. Who has at least 25? Who has 30? 35? 40? 45? 50? 55? 60? 65? 70? 80? 85? All right, we're down to what, 3? How many do you have? 93? Great. 108? 95. Excellent, excellent. All right, well, you are the grand prize winner. See me after class. You get a $5 Starbucks card. Congratulations. All right, so that's, and I'm sure you guys have already done this exercise in the other classes where they tell you to write down your contacts. But again, always, keep that top of mind and make sure you've contacted every single one of those people because the ratio is for every, 20, 12 that you know, there's at least one solid contact in there at any particular time. So that's why, again, our communication has to be consistent because, for this quarter, you might have the one person, the next quarter it's going to be that other person that last time you contacted them, they didn't know of anybody or have anybody for you to contact. So good job, guys. All right, so the next, top of page 23, time blocking with the 3-3. So this is something you will be doing every day, at least Monday to Friday, your 3-3. And the parts of the 3-3, this is your time blocking discipline. The parts are prepare, take action, and maintain. So your 3-hour lead generation is going to include prepping your call list, saying affirmations and focusing on your big why, and practicing your scripts. Now the prep for the call list, I always do mine the night before because I don't want to waste a lot of time the next morning. I'd rather use as much time as I can for contacting these people. So the day before is when I create my list of who I'm going to contact the next day. Or if you're using your e-edge reminder and you pull that up, that's going to automatically give you your list of people to call for that day. Your affirmations and your big why, that is huge. In real estate, we are all, we're basically salespeople. We operate on motivation. Whatever it is that gets you motivated and ready to act on those calls, whether it's affirmations, whether it's listening to a couple of your Pump It Up songs, whatever it is that gets you going, do that before you make your calls. Be ready so that when you make that call, they can hear on the other end of the phone that you're excited about what you do, you're passionate about what you do. Your call's not going to come across very well if you're, either sleepy because you didn't get enough sleep, or maybe you're upset for, maybe something in your morning didn't go right. But start those calls. Find whatever it is that makes you do those calls in a very positive way, and I guarantee you that will help. 2, your take action. So you're going to prospect. Call those people. Find out who needs somebody. That's the bottom line of what you're doing. You're trying to find out who needs a realtor. Bottom line, it's not rocket science. You just need to know who needs a realtor. And in order to do that, we have to go through, it's a numbers game, so we've got to go through the number of people. Update your database. When you talk to somebody, put in those little pieces of information into your record so that you remember the next time, what you needed to discuss the next time you talk to that particular person. 3, maintain. Track your results. See, again, look at your numbers at the end of each week and find out where were your successes. Perhaps maybe you're going to try calling at different times of the day. Maybe your lead generation, most people like to do it in the morning. Maybe for whatever reason you might have to do an afternoon lead generation and you find out that worked better. Maybe you need to focus on moving your time to that particular time of the day. See what works for you. And then lastly, write those notes. The goal is to try to get at least 2 notes every day out. Every single day, 2 notes mailed to somebody. So make that a regular practice. All right, so we are watching a video called Cold Calling with the Real Estate Brothers. You know what? I'm not sure this is the right one. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. So these are 2 Keller Williams brothers that work together.
Cool. So I'll say where we're from and then you get directionals. Is that all right? Hi, my name is Dylan Vervache. I'm Sean Vervache. We're from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We're the Real Estate Brothers. 2014, we wrote 72 transactions for $47 million. Sean and I are very lucky because we're actually fairly entrepreneurial in sales. So we were able to just sort of survive by luck and by just sort of being likable and nice. We had a decent business that wasn't growing. We did a lot of door knocking originally, but what we found was with bad weather, plus you have to drive to door knock, it was just too much of a wild card. We were to grow the business, we needed to add people to our database, and if we were going to do that, we needed a systematic way that we knew we could achieve results that were predictable. So we just kind of started cold calling about 3 hours a day, and we found that the results were phenomenal. Come take a look where we've been this whole time. You can literally do it from your kitchen. It's just more time effective. Yeah. If you're cheap like we are, you don't want to spend a ton of money on the web or print. Telephone lines, you pay a monthly bill and you can call all you want. Why don't you come in here and show you the cold calling room? We got a map where we've broken the entire city into zones. We like to target areas where we have buyers. It's been scrubbed to the do not call list and it still represents over 250,000 phone numbers. All of our guests have
That was pretty good, wasn't it? And again, it's not rocket science. Just do it. They face rejection just like all of us do. But the closer, every time you get a no, that means you're closer to a yes. Probably have to do this every time. I don't know why it is. Okay, somebody give me an aha from that video. Something that struck you and something that you are going to go do. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. You know, why the person on the other, if you're cold calling, the person on the other end of that phone knows nothing about you. So anything they do, it's not personal. Don't take it personal. Just blow it off. Go to the next phone call. Because it's true. It's not a personal. It's not about you at all.
Sometimes you think about
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, ma'am. Probably a very small. I couldn't give you an exact number, but a very small. You know, it takes it's a brave soul. It's a certain mindset to do it. But what we're trying to teach and share with you here today is that think about it as an opportunity for you, an avenue, because you're going to use several different sources to get your business. Make it one of those avenues. Or when you run out of numbers, you know, make that one of your possible avenues. I like the aha that I got from this one is the listings. When he was talking about having, and actually I think he mentioned buyers. When he has buyers in a particular area, he is now prospecting for that buyer. So his motivation, his first motivation is that buyer possibly trying to find an available house for his buyer. Maybe it's an area where there's just not enough houses for sale that fit his criteria for this buyer. So they're trying to dig up that one person that might have the right house for this buyer. And when you approach it from that angle, it's really not as scary. You're just doing your work for your buyer. And if you happen to find another piece of business in the process, bingo. Bingo. So, yes, ma'am. There are multiple, and you will get, you know, now that you're a registered agent here, you will begin to get emails from the different sources. It's probably going to pop up in your promotions tab of your Gmail account. AdWorks, he mentioned Mojo, and then you can just Google. And I would also talk to, you know, as you're talking with your instructors, I personally don't purchase leads. I never have. I don't feel you know, that's a good way to use my money. But there are some that do purchase those leads, and you know, they're making those cold calls to that. But again, you have to do a little bit of the legwork, make sure they're not on the do not call list as well. Uh-huh. At the right time. Exactly. Exactly. At the right place at the right time, you probably would have jumped on it because, you know, and that's all it is. It's just, yes, that's all it is. So, you know, don't look at it as a scary thing. Again, if you go into the bold class, which I highly recommend that everybody take bold at least once, because you will come out of that a different person, a totally different person. Your mindset will change. Agnes, you took bold, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. Am I correct? But I mean, was your mindset different from the day one to the end of the, what is it, 7 weeks?
Yes, it definitely.
Your mindset is,
Me step up the game.
yes, you will come out a totally different mindset when it comes to your real estate career when you take that. And part of the bold class is that they set you up on this calling sheet where you get these numbers fed into your email every day. Yes, excellent scripts. Excellent. So, yes, sir.
If we have
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And again, it's not personal. It's not a personal thing. And the quicker that you remove that idea, the more successful you're going to be by knowing that they're not, they know nothing about you. So what they're doing is not about you personally. It's just the situation. So, all right. So let's go to, we are on the top of page 24, prepare. So solid preparation is the foundation of any successful prospecting. Plan to spend approximately 30 minutes getting ready. So prep your call list, your list of names, phone numbers, and pertinent info. And here's some suggestions about where you're going to get these, your referrals, your sphere, for sale by owners, leads from a sign call or website, neighbors of just listed or just souls, expired or withdrawn listings, your allied resources, those are your vendors, and any past clients. 2, rehearse scripts. Formal script practice is a daily activity you should be doing with a script partner or as part of a team prior to your preparation time. And that's something that you can even do on your own. In the morning before you're getting, or whatever you're getting ready to do your calling, take 3 minutes to read your scripts out loud and get in that mindset of this phone call, and so that the script, when it comes time to actually talk to somebody, it's coming out naturally. Make a habit of doing that, even if you don't do it with a script partner. Just do it yourself, standing up, looking in the mirror. Again, get very comfortable with those words. And then, of course, your affirmations. Again, whatever focus you need, whether it's your big why, whether it's music that puts you in the right mood, make that part of your lead generation every day. So 2 is take action. That's your prospecting time. Get out your database or call list and start calling, and then update your database with each call. 3, maintain. Again, these are all things that we've already reviewed. Putting the results in your database, write your follow-up notes, track your results, schedule and calendar follow-up, and then fulfill promises such as sending any information as requested. I find that one of the things that you can impress the most on these people that you're contacting is make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're following up. If you committed to sending them some information, either that day or the next day, make sure you get it done. Don't let that fall off the list. Page 25, prospecting opportunities. We have discussed your working with Mets and asking for referrals. Once you have contacted all of your personal contacts and any referrals you have received, where are you going to find more business? So far, we have learned different methods for finding, reaching out to, and connecting with potential clients. Now we will use this information and focus on different prospecting opportunities. So our next video is finding more leads.
Even your mechanic.
So not too long on that one. does it do that? All right, so let's go to, okay, so 25. We've spent the day talking about areas and places to get more leads. Throw out some ideas about where you're going to get some leads from that maybe might be a little, you know, out of the box. Yes, sir. That would be one, and when we get to that, we'll elaborate, but yes, that's one area. There's also a website. Does anybody else come up with a? Estate sales? Yes. Yes, and then so if you're along that line, there's a seniors real estate designation that would put you in a network to be one of those type realtors when you're dealing with estates. A specialist. It's a designation class, so it's probably a 2-day. I believe it was a 2-day. I took it several years ago. A 2-day class, so you get your CE credits and you get a designation. Several of the real estate schools, Champions, in my opinion, is the best. Seniors real estate specialist. Any other ahas? Where are we going to get some business? It's an excellent one. Excellent one. So. All right, look at page 26. So these are the other areas that we're going to talk about where you can get business. Door knocking, geographical farming, for sale by owners, expired or withdrawn listings, open houses, agent referrals, and social media. So one, door knocking and geographical farming. This happens to be one of my favorites. Door knocking in a neighborhood, also known as a targeted geographical farm, is to promote your business, means talking with prospective clients. And it's a great way to promote your upcoming open house. Don't be pushy. Come from contribution and let people know what is happening in the area. Ask for business, offer advice, and be available as a resource. Provide market information when it's appropriate. Did you know homes in our neighborhood are selling in less than 30 days? Or that home on Mayberry just sold for $350K. That means home values are going up. Vendor referrals. My clients seem to like ABC Company. So when you're door knocking, and your neighborhood is an excellent place to start. Because again, you guys are in the mode where you need to get as many people notified that you just got your license. Yes, sir? If someone has a no solicitation sign on their door, I don't knock, but I'll leave my information. Yeah, most of them are. I've never had that happen. Yeah, I've seen that. No, that's right. And do it anyway. Right. Right. Exactly. 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 Yes, ma'am. It depends. If I'm doing an open house, then that's my reason for contacting them. Is I'm having an open house down your street on Saturday from 1 to 4. Just wanted to invite you, or maybe you know someone that would like to be your neighbor. Then other times, if I don't have an active listing at the moment, then I'm bringing them information. This is what's sold in the neighborhood. This is how many houses have sold. This is how many. It's very brief information, but information that they're not going to easily get anywhere. Only I can provide this information. So again, like what it says here, the example, did you know that homes were selling in less than 30 days? So for your neighborhood, look and see what the average is and make that something that you know, or you can create a little fact sheet with your business card and contact information with a few little bullet points. Homes are selling in less than 30 days. Our inventory is, we are short on inventory, or we are heavy on inventory. It's a good buyer market. Whatever it is that's happening in your market, just create a few little pieces of information. And then when you're talking with them, they may ask for more information. If it's somebody that wants to sell or is thinking about, maybe they have a relative that wants to buy, they'll continue that conversation with you because they're interested. Yes, sir? You can. You can. Whenever I pass out my Texan schedules, I will go to my farm and pass out Texan schedules. Or let me see other things that I've given out. Maybe on Valentine's, I'll put together a little treat bag with Hershey Kisses. It should be something, though, like the Hershey Kisses I wouldn't do in summertime. And I wouldn't do if no one's there. I would usually just give the chocolate if someone's actually there. And the other houses, if they don't answer, then I'll just leave whatever information I'm passing out, I will tape it to their door. Yes, sir? I typically will do 2 hours, and in 2 hours I can knock on about 50 to 60 doors. Well, in this particular neighborhood that I farm, I'm the top agent in that neighborhood. But again, it's because I got one listing, and so when I started marketing that one listing, I started door knocking because I was going to have an open house. After I sold the house, then I went back through the neighborhood. I just sold, this house. Who do you know? And it just so happened that that seller referred me to the neighbor behind them. I sold their house. The neighbor across the street saw that, contacted me, and it's transferred. But I'm in that neighborhood at least every 2 months. Yes, yes. And then I send them material through the mail as well. So, but right now, you need something that's free. You need not to be spending money. So you need just a quick little printout. Yes, I've now put them in. I have a database spreadsheet for that particular neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And when I'm going door knocking, I have that list, and I'm checking off and making notes. If I talk to somebody, I'm making notes about that conversation. Nobody home, I put, did not answer. And then I'll go back. Maybe I'll pick a handful of people that I didn't connect with, and I'll send them a note saying, I was in your neighborhood passing out some information, just wondering if you might need my assistance. So it's just another way to get my name in front of them. And of course, they've seen my signs out there, so that name is now familiar to them. And that's the name of the game. But start in your neighborhood because it's an easy way. Hey, I'm your neighbor. I'm just stopping by. So. Yes. No. 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 It's right. No, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you live there or don't live there. Now, by living there, you have a little more information about the neighborhood. But this other neighborhood I do not live in, I've been working on it for 3 going on 4 years now, so I know it quite well. So it's almost as if I live there. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, yes, that agent, this is my take. Number one, we don't have areas. Nobody owns a section. Now, in some other offices, other than Keller Williams, that does happen, where an agent has a neighborhood and no agent in that office can go there. We're happy to say that here we don't do that. I would still knock on doors because I guarantee you that in that neighborhood, let's say it's 200 houses, I guarantee you that out of that 200 houses, there's plenty of people in there who either don't know those agents or maybe had an encounter with them and rather would use someone else. So don't be afraid to go in there. And I've even had people tell me that they've had those agents contact them And my answer, to, hey, this is my neighborhood would be, you don't own this neighborhood. There's no, this is an open market, so. But yeah, don't let that intimidate you. I've never had that happen to me. I've heard, that it has happened before, but just move on. I wouldn't pay it any attention whatsoever. In Katy. No. I mean, you can farm that neighborhood if you want. It'll only up my game. I'll increase my game, but so it's in Katy, right? So, all right. So farming. Let's see. We talked about what to say. My clients. The vendor referrals. So let's say if you door knock on a house and say there's a sign maybe on the front that they just had their roof replaced by, ABC company. Ask them, how did you like that company? See what kind of referral they give you about that company. If they give you a good referral, I love that company. They worked really well. They cleaned up after themselves. I was very happy with the service. Boom, a contact for you as a vendor, a good vendor that when your next client needs a roofer, I've got a good one, and it comes with a good referral. And maybe contact the roofer later on and say, look, I'm a real estate agent. I hear good things about you. Maybe we can work together. So just another way to start the conversation, because that's what you're looking for is conversations. All right, let's move here because I know we've got 30 minutes here. For sale by owners. So we can continue the for sale by owner conversation here. The best agents have long recognized that people who place their own for sale sign on their property and run their own ads have proven one thing. They are motivated to sell. If you are persistent with these sellers, you'll have a good chance to win their listing after your competition gives up. And here's the NAR fact. National Association of Realtors estimates that about 9% of all homes that sell are sold by the owner. So contacting FSBOs. First, get their information. Get their contact information and add them to your database. You can often find their numbers in a cross-reference directory or stop at their home when you see their sign. Finding FSBOs is as easy as driving neighborhoods where you want to work in real estate, or you can look for by owner advertising online or in your local newspaper. And there is a FSBO.com website that you can go to that's open to everybody. So that would be a good place to get some. No, because they have to pay to be on that site. There's also, when you go to the grocery store and they have that rack of magazines, there's a FSBO magazine also. So there's plenty of ways to get the FSBO, just Googling FSBOs and then maybe a zip code or FSBOs, Houston, Texas. Now, let me share one thing that happened to me recently, because I am in a transaction with a FSBO, but it's my buyers. I have the buyers and the FSBO is selling. So my clients found a home on Zillow. So FSBOs can go to Zillow and evidently post their listing, but when you call the number that comes up on the ad, it goes to an agent that has paid Zillow to be part of their program. So getting in touch with, it wasn't until I did some more digging that towards the end of the site that the owner's name was printed there and the contact information. But so make sure you're looking closely, because my first phone call, whenever my client said, hey, we really like this house, it's a FSBO, my first contact ended up with another agent, not the owner directly. And like in this particular case, my client is paying my side. The owner does not want to pay for a realtor, but my client's willing to pay for my service, and that's how we're handling it. All right, let's see. Get an appointment to see their home. So here, this outlines, basically you want to go in the home and call the FSBO. And so I noticed your home is for sale. As a real estate customer service expert, I like to keep up with the inventory in this area so I know what kind of buyers to bring. Would you be offended if I came over to view your home? If yes, or we don't want to list with a real estate agent, I promise you I won't ask for your listing. The reason for my call is not to list your home. I would simply like to put the home on my for sale by owner inventory list. And then ask for the appointment, you know, tomorrow at 3 or 1 o'clock. Most of the time, when I've shown a FSBO house, they're ready to work with an agent. And sometimes they're willing to pay your side, sometimes they're not. You just have to ask those questions in advance and discuss it with your client. 3, go slowly at first. Your goal is to see their home, so take a light-handed approach until you have a chance to tour their property inside and out. So then you tour the home. Mr. and Mrs. FSBO, thank you for allowing me to show to view your home. Would you mind showing me around and pointing out the features? Then ask them questions. Where are you going next? When do you need to arrive? Means when do they need to be moving at the next place? Mr. and Mrs. FSBO, thank you for showing me your lovely home. I want to wish you the best of luck. I have blank report that might help you sell your home. I'd be happy to drop it off because I'm hoping for a win-win here. I can provide you with information that will help you sell, and I hope that in return you will refer any buyers not interested in your home to me. Is there anything else I can do to help? So offer to help them. You know, you're not going to do you know, a detailed CMA, but you can offer them some general information just like you would offer your geographical farm. You know, just something, a very broad picture. They may not have a seller's disclosure. And there is a, you can get online a seller's disclosure that's not for use by realtors. You can give them a copy of that. You know, just be a resource for them, and very possibly when they get tired of having to take those calls or not, the property's not moving, you'll be top of mind because you were consistent and about staying in touch with them. So win their trust by being a resource. Build a rapport and a relationship with them. Approach them with an attractive alternative to what they are doing by being a resource first, providing home staging tips or a discount coupon for a local home improvement store. Later, you can start them on an 8x8 touch program in eEdge. So, agent here. It was good to meet you the other day. I plan to check in with you from time to time just to see how things are going and where there have been any changes in your plan to sell. Selling is hard work. I have a tip sheet on preparing your home to sell that might help. I'll be in your area tomorrow. Can I drop it off around 9 or would the afternoon around 2 be better? So 5, focus on saving money. This is one of their goals. Show how they can actually save money by working with a good agent. So what you're telling them is there are good statistics available about the prices buyers pay for homes. I'd like to show them to you or drop off a copy. What day and time would be convenient? It'll take just a minute. And overall, the FSBO is not wanting to pay a commission. They think that they're saving money. But at the same time, the buyer who is driving around or looking for FSBOs on a website, they're also looking for a good deal. So where a FSBO is thinking, I'm going to get the same buyers that my neighbor that's listed with Keller Williams is getting, not necessarily so. Because there is a certain group of people that are buyers. They only want to buy FSBOs, again, because they think they're going to get, or they're looking for a discount because they know that person's not having to pay an agent commission. So the FSBO doesn't know that they're really, and I'll say it, you know, for lack of a better word, it's a cheap person who's going to get the cheap buyer. But the FSBO thinks, oh, I'm going to make out good because I'm not. But his buyer is not the same type of buyer that you and I work for. So. Most of the time, right. Now, don't give them, you know, a specific, you know, don't give as tight a CMA as you would until they're actually going to consider listing. So you want a very broad, you know, not. Well, for instance, you know, if it's a listing, you're going to try to hone in on the square footage. You're going to look at each of the other houses and make sure that they compare in terms of amenities. You're going to do much more detailed work on your listing appointment than a very general. Very general, you're just going to say, if it's a 4-bedroom house, pull up all the 4-bedroom houses in Maplewood. And that's it. You're not going to go through and compare to see, which one's like an apples to apples comparison. You're going to give broad picture. This is 4-bedroom houses in Maplewood. That's it, yeah. Now, if you want more detailed information, Mr. Fisbo, I'd be happy to have an appointment with you. So, I think this gentleman here. I know on our blog, the KW blog, if you go into our KW website, there's a blog, and it's got resources there with different information that you can, just pull it up and you can email, do the share thing. You can share it to them by email. Again, and it's mostly, a very general. Texas Association of Realtors, our membership as a, with the Texas Association, will have some other, pieces of information also that you can print or email and to them. Yes, ma'am. Just a general, this is houses have sold, houses are taking, this many days to sell. We have X number of homes active on the market right now. Based on statistics, we have only 3 months of inventory. And if I sold a listing, then on the other side of that sheet is going to be, I just sold 123 Main Street. It was on the market for 10 days, and I received multiple offers. That's going to be on the flip side of that sheet. Then you're just going to give the neighborhood information. Right. I'm a new, well, not necessarily. They want someone who's willing to do the legwork. They want someone who's diligent and who's bringing them information. You can look like you know what you're doing. It doesn't have to be, I just got my license. It's going to be, I'm an agent in this area. If you're in your neighborhood, I'm an agent in your neighborhood. I've lived here for 5 years. I love this and this. How long have you lived here? They're going to tell you, I've lived here 2 years. Okay, well, 2 years tells you that maybe they're not ready to move yet. So you mind if I stay in touch with you? I've got a lot of information that I send out on a regular basis. Would you mind if I get your email address and phone number so I can stay in touch with you? That's all you're trying to do is get their contact information, and then they go in your database and you send the campaign to them. And then 60 days later, hi, it's me again. Just checking on you. Has anything changed in your, situation? Do you have any friends that might be wanting to sell? It's just a conversation. Okay. Before you knock on that door, you're going to do your homework. You're going to look at all the listings. You're going to see what was the average number of days it took to sell the listings, how many are active, how many are pending, how many are option, how many sold last month, how many sold last year. You're going to study all of that information. So when you knock on that door, you have the basic information that you need. You're going to have everything that you in MLS will have what you need. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's just a conversation. So just do a little bit of homework beforehand. All right, so number 3, expired or withdrawn listings. Expired listings are properties that did not sell during their listing contract, usually between 90 to 180 days. Canceled or withdrawn listings are properties that were taken off the market because the listing expired. Both are a good source for business because most of the time the sellers want to sell their home. So 3 common reasons homes don't sell: price, marketing, or condition. Find expired. Let me ask you a question when I'm reading this. Have you guys, when you're looking at your houses online, how many of you have seen really bad MLS pictures? Have y'all seen that? Have you started to see when you look at Keller Williams listings, our gorgeous photographs and how well they show, and then look at maybe another company that maybe isn't, Keller Williams, and see, wow, those are really horrible pictures. How much of the shopping, how many people are looking at the internet before they're contacting an agent? Everybody. Pictures are so important, and that's one thing when you meet with somebody, a list, that's something you can show. Look at our pictures, and look at these pictures. This is why you need me as your agent and not this other agent, because look at their pictures. So that's a big, and I find that to be one reason why maybe a expired listing didn't sell. Oh yes. Oh yes. Exactly. Exactly. I don't want to see an open toilet. That's not, you know, and it's a close-up of the toilet. Really? They need to see the house. Someone needs to be able to see that house on the internet and see enough of it and that it's appealing enough to make them want to be inside that house. That's the purpose of your pictures. So pictures are crucial. And please don't take a picture of an open toilet seat. Nothing irks me more than that. Nothing. Find expired and withdrawal listings by searching your MLS daily. So very easy to find the information. Follow these strategies. Confirm they're expired. Okay, make sure that they didn't just re-sign the document last night and it just hasn't been, you know, updated in the MLS. Stay low key but be persistent and consistent. Expired or withdrawn listings are more responsive to a low key approach rather than a high pressure sales pitch. They've been disappointed, perhaps both in the agent and the process. This is huge. I took this last summer a listing, and it was actually from some good friends of mine who used another agent first, and they had a situation where it was the wife of a coworker in the husband's office, and they decided to use that agent because they felt guilty that they had to fire that man. So they, just as compensation, you know, used her, and she gave them horrible service. So they ended up calling me. We need you to list the house. You know, this is going horrible. We even lost a transaction because this woman couldn't be contacted. There were several complaints that they had. So while I'm there and we're signing paperwork and going through all that process, she starts to play some messages that she's received on her, what do you call the thing? I don't even have one at home anymore. The answer machine, thank you. I don't have a landline at home, so I was like, what is that thing? And it was from various agents that, because it was on the expired list, and they came across like used car salesmen. It was horrible. And she's like, listen to that, that's horrible. So I can't emphasize this one, you know, enough. You know, if you're gonna call, take a very low-key approach. Don't come across like a used car salesman. Because again, these people are already kind of irked that their house hasn't sold or didn't sell. Number 3, meet in person. Face-to-face initial contact is ideal. And I like to do this. For my expired listings, I would rather, instead of calling them, I would rather knock on their door and bring some information to them, because that just works better for me. I'm more successful by doing that instead of a phone call. Be ready for a listing presentation. So again, do your homework. Have your listing presentation prepared before you make contact. The seller is usually eager to sell their home as soon as possible and may not want to waste time. Okay. All right, I'm going to go quickly through these others because we're going to run short on time. Open houses. So open houses represent your first and easiest opportunity to do the job of a real estate agent. So you're going to offer your services to buyers who are also selling, sellers, and then you're going to meet other agents at an open house. So if you look at that box at the bottom, this is really good about your to-do before an open house. So you see the before, the during, and the after. So before your open house, you're going to contact your database and the neighbors to let them know that you're doing an open house. And of course, this takes a little bit of work. You're going to schedule your open house hopefully on a, you know, you're going to know by Monday that you're going to do one on Saturday or Sunday. So you can have time to prepare this material and get in there and do the door knocking. You'll want to do the door knocking on Thursday or Friday. So, you know, there's a little bit of legwork involved. During the open house, you're going to meet with face-to-face visitors and then your database. Invite your database to come by. And if nothing else, especially you right now, you're new to real estate, your friends, call your friend and say, I'm going to be doing open house on Saturday. Do you have time to stop by, or would you come by, or would you like to come by and see it? Lots of people like to look at houses, or they just want to come and spend a few minutes with you. I'd love to have your opinion about the house. So, let them come in. And you never know. You might get that person, who was maybe on the fence about wanting to buy or sell. You might get their mind moving a little bit more. Okay, and then after the open house, make sure that you're calling, sending emails and notes to the people that you met, and then putting them on your marketing campaign in your database. 5, agent referrals. Believe it or not, some agents have leads that they are not following up on for one reason or another. And we actually had, I don't know if you saw the email this week from one of our agents here in our office who had 2 leads that they couldn't service. Boom. So be looking in your email box on a consistent basis, because that was a really good 2 pieces of business to whoever was able to contact that agent first. And then, of course, you'll see, and you probably have seen already, numerous agents in our office are constantly needing us to do open houses for them. That's a great source to do. And I know, John, I know you encountered somebody who their requirements were a little more stringent. They didn't want somebody that was new. But I guarantee you there are plenty of agents in our office who don't have such strict requirements and will let you do the open house. All right. Okay, so agent referrals. Out-of-town agents. When you go to Mega Agent Camp in Austin in August, or sometimes it's September, you're going to meet other Keller Williams agents. So be prepared with your cards and be prepared to have those conversations about, hey, I work the Friendswood area of Houston. Do you have any contacts? Do you have an agent that you're working with in that area? And the answer is no. Here, I'd like you to add me too. And you exchange cards because they want you to have their information too, so that when you've got somebody moving to Des Moines, Iowa, you have, boom, you've got an agent to refer that person to. So always be exchanging information with other Keller Williams agents. Social media. The best way to engage with a quality database is through social media. If you're like most people and use social media every day, you can think of it as a 365 touch system. Here are some ways you can interact with Mets in their sphere and position yourself at the top of their minds. Facebook. Facebook is a place to go to connect with friends and family. Most agents want to connect with family and friends of clients. It provides trust and word-of-mouth marketing. All right, so on the page 30, this list on 32 is excellent. These are things that you can be talking about when you're on Facebook. Post about your neighborhood. If you know that there's a HOA meeting coming up soon, post it, put it on there, share the information. If you know there's a new community center being built, just things of that nature. Even though you might already think, oh, everybody knows about it, they've already seen it. Don't take that mindset. Take the mindset of, I'm going to share that information. I'm going to be the first one. I know in my particular neighborhood, we recently received an email about the light rail system that is proposed to go, and it would run right by our neighborhood. So I'm sending that out to everybody. I'm posting it on Facebook because I want people to, 1, see my name, and then 2, get information that's pertinent to all of our lives. Use images when you update. So pictures are always make that much more appealing for people to see. Post events in your neighborhood. Congratulate new homeowners on their closing day. Make sure you get permission from your clients that it's okay to share. Tell them that you're going to share a picture, and ask them if it's okay to reference their name. If they'd rather not have their name in there, then maybe just a picture, like your closing. You might want to post that you had your closing. So, but just make sure you ask that first before you share. Engage with polls or surveys. That's a good way to start a chit-chat conversation. Post your listings. Absolutely post your listings. And you're telling your sellers, look, these are the things I do to market your home. I'm on Facebook with, 700 people. So 700 people are going to see your home. Great marketing tool. Twitter, same thing. Tweet questions, tweet about your listings, tweet tips about staging and moving. Just this week, Keller Williams on the blog posted tips for sellers, some staging tips. So all I did was pluck that up hit share, and boom, it went out to all of my Facebook people. And I even had several people take it and reshare it, which I thought was kind of cool. Tips about staging and moving, tweet local news, tweet about charity events, use hashtags, use @mentions to keep in touch with clients. So all of these social media things are great ways for us to connect and be visible to people, and that's what you want. Pinterest. Pinterest is the 4th largest social site and is all about connecting through images. This provides an amazing opportunity to show off the visuals of your listing. So again, great listing tool. And here's some ideas. Set up a board about your neighborhood, set a board about your hobby, set up a board about home decor, a board for your listings, and use hashtags. Instagram, same thing. You're basically doing all of the same things you would across the board. And then on 35, your other areas, LinkedIn, YouTube, your blog, and then your community websites or other avenues. All right, so we have, okay, so 36. 36 is an activity, and I think let's just do this verbally. So throw out some ideas that you would post on social media, like get your brain working. What are things that you're thinking about? I could start posting about this, that, or the other about my neighborhood. Somebody have something that maybe this afternoon or tomorrow they could post about? No? Yes. This is your own house? I would love to talk to you about that because I had a listing in Meyerland during Harvey. So yeah, I would love to hear that information. That's excellent. Excellent, because yes, people need to know, what steps they're taking, how it works, the process, and so forth. So yeah, that's very, very good. Yes. And post consistently. You don't want to post and wait 30 days to repost something. Make sure you're in there but you don't want to be there every day either. There are some people who do that. This is what I'm eating for lunch. Here's my new listing. Excuse me. Don't be that person. So what else? What other ideas can we post about? Yes, ma'am. Very good. Yes. Very good. Excellent. Yes. So exactly. Exactly. That's an excellent idea. Any others? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Very good. Very good. And then people are going to get their market value letters. I think what is that? End of February, March, somewhere around that time frame, they're going to get their valuation. Have you thought, and you're going to post, have you thought about protesting your value? Contact me for assistance. So you can help these people with their protest. They do not have to pay the O'Connors and so forth. You can help give them that information that they need, the comps and so forth. Be a service. Be that service for those people, and that's huge. I have several clients last year who were able to get some good valuation drops because of the information that I provided for them, and they were on cloud 9 when they came back from their appointment and said, "Oh, we did it! I got my reduction." And so that's the valuation. No, your MLS. Use your MLS information. Now, you're going to want to know what they valued, what HCAT has valued that person's property, because they first have to file a protest, and in the protest they have to state what they feel the valuation is. So they come to you at that point so that you can give them, this is what I feel you should be priced at. So. Yes. Yes. So yes, you're exactly right. Hello. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute. So to your point, yes. So when they go to HCAD, come on in, it's okay. When they go to HCAD, they have to have 3 copies of everything when they bring it. So if all the printouts that you do of MLS and so forth, 3 copies. Oh, they did? Okay, 4. It's now 4. It's now 4. So, any other questions? I hope this has been helpful. I hope you guys, your brain is now moving on various aspects to go out and find that business. There's plenty out there. Plenty out there. I need to sign forms. Okay.
Thank you so much.